A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, Mid-HudsonNews.com. It's Thursday, April 28th. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. Accused murderer Raymond Snyder was ordered to be released immediately on the day his trial was slated to begin in Ulster County Court. Ulster County DA David Clegg and his assistants failed to appear in court for the trial. Snyder had been indicted on a murder charge by a grand jury for the July 11, 2020 shooting death of 47-year-old Romero Underwood in his St. James Street residence. Blood droplets found at the scene matched Snyder's after DNA testing was completed. Snyder was also charged with 2 counts each of burglary and robbery. Ulster County Court Judge Brian Rounds dismissed all of the charges against Snyder on Wednesday, citing several violations of evidence discovery committed by the Office of Ulster County DA David Clegg. The original prosecutor for Clegg's office left the position after he missed the indictment deadline for Snyder, allowing the man to be released from custody, although the charges remained. A Milton resident was killed on Tuesday afternoon when the 2006 Subaru Legacy he was driving on Route 28 in the town of Kingston crossed into the opposite lane of travel and struck a 2022 Peterbilt tractor-trailer head-on. State police identified the victim as 40-year-old Tremaine Holmes, who was pronounced dead at the scene of the 4 p.m. crash. The driver of the truck, 60-year-old Daniel Warner of Margaretville, was treated by Mobile Life Support Services at the scene and transported to a Kingston hospital with minor injuries. The U.S. Department of Labor has awarded the Ulster Youth Build in Kingston and Nubian Directions 2 in Poughkeepsie a total of over $2 million for their programs. Youth Build is a comprehensive youth and community development program that offers its participants the ability to continue their education to secure a high school equivalency diploma and receive life skills and leadership development training while learning housing construction skills with hands-on training at a housing construction site. It was back in 1904 that the Beacon Incline Railroad was constructed, bringing visitors up the steep incline of Mount Beacon, overlooking the city of Beacon, and to view the magnificent sights of the Hudson River Valley below. The railway was abandoned years later and fell into disrepair, and in 1996, Steve Gold, who would later become a mayor of the city of Beacon, founded the Mount Beacon Incline Railway Restoration Society. The goal of the group was to rebuild the railway so that it could bring visitors to the top of the mountain once again. Despite valiant efforts to raise the large amount of funds needed, the group has now decided to abandon the project. Gold says things are different now than they were 26 years ago when the restoration effort began.
Times have changed, and people's interests moved to a different direction, and Scenic Hudson created this fantastic park at the base of where the incline was. And people like to hike and walk the mountain and have a more natural nature experience.
The restoration group, which has worked in tandem with the Beacon Historical Society, is turning over its assets, including historical materials, for a new gallery that the Historical Society will create to keep the history of the railway alive for future generations. More news right after this.
Mother's Day is just around the corner, so remember to celebrate the special mom in your life. The Galleria at Crystal Run has hundreds of ideas for Mother's Day gift giving. Pandora, Macy's, DSW, Hallmark, Zales. Hey, you can even take mom out to dinner at Fuji, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, 110 Grill, or Peru Cuisine. You can also enter the Galleria Crystal Run's Mother's Day Look-alike contest. The Galleria at Crystal Run in Middletown, Orange County's premier shopping, dining, entertainment, and Mother's Day destination. So be sure to visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com for contest details.
In the town of Wallkill, President Container Group's PCG Cares initiative has donated thousands of corrugated containers to 3 Ukrainian relief organizations, as well as medical supplies to a 4th group. The containers are filled with food, hygiene products, pet food, and backpacks. Medical supplies were sent to Poland, where the goal is to transport them across the border into Ukraine to assist those in need. More than 4.3 million Ukrainians have fled their country to escape the Russian invasion, making the exodus the largest European crisis since World War II. A pedestrian trail bridge at one of New York's most visited state parks is being replaced thanks to a partnership between the Open Space Institute, cadets from West Point, the State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, and Palisades Interstate Park Commission. The trail bridge replacement at Harriman marks the fifth such effort to provide real-world experience to engineering students while expanding hiking and recreational opportunities for the public. The city of Newburgh has issued a request for proposals for developers to create a master land use redevelopment plan for city-owned municipal buildings and land parcels. That would include constructing a new city hall, police and fire department headquarters. City Planning and Economic Development Director Allie Church says the plan should also include municipal parking within a mixed-use, transit-oriented development scenario.
We're looking to consolidate the city governmental offices along with public safety, potentially on a new site that would hopefully be a campus. And in exchange for that, we're hoping that we have some value in the land and buildings that we currently own and are listed in this RFP.
Over the years, many Newburgh officials have considered building a campus at the Mid-Broadway parcel that the city owns, and Church says that would make a lot of sense.
It was installed about 100 years ago. I know that it was. This is not the first time a vehicle has run into it, and I also know that the light fixture head that was damaged was not the original. It actually was updated at least a couple times and had LED bulbs in it.
The city began milling the more than 1 mile long Main Street on Monday in advance of the repaving of the thoroughfare that's slated to start next week and take 3 days to complete. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.